Hello there guys, it's CoolFox over here, and today I'm bringing you an unboxing and review of the Blackview BV7000 smartphone. Let's first start off with the unboxing, and to be honest, this is one of the best unboxing experiences of a mobile phone I ever had. Now on the back there are some specifications, but they are all wrong. I do not know why exactly, but I think it's because they use the same box for every mobile phone they have. The box is nicely sorted out into compartments, all nicely spread out with the phone on top with a pull tab, and the accessories are included at the bottom. Everything is nicely protected in some plastic bags, making sure that there will be no scratches. They include a USB-C cable, a charger plug, and a pair of earbuds. They also throw in a cheeky little stylus pen. They also include a manual and an extra screen protector, as one is already installed on the phone itself, and obviously the SIM card pin to eject the SIM slot. Now the manual is pretty lengthy, but it isn't really that useful as it only contains the features of the phone. The plug does come with a great feature as it can retract, increasing the space in whatever luggage you have, and therefore making this a great plug for traveling purposes as it doesn't really take up much space. The specifications though aren't really that good, as you've only got 5 volts and 1 amp of output. The earbuds are pretty cheaply made, the sound quality isn't really that good, and these have the quality of a pair of $1 earbuds in my opinion, so nothing really great or special here. Something that is nicely added though is the pause play button, which does come in handy from time to time. As you can also see, the 3.5mm jack is longer than normal 3.5mm jacks, as you will see later on in the video. Here it is compared to a normal jack, and you can clearly see that it's longer than usual. The USB-C cable is great, it's not too short or too long, but it is also longer than usual. Here it is compared to a normal cable, and you will see also later on in the video why they are longer. You do get an included USB OTG cable, which is great since the USB-C cable itself is proprietary. This is of pretty good quality as well, so nothing negative to talk about. Now taking a look at the phone itself, you can see the 5MP front camera, 3 capacitive touch buttons on the bottom. On the side there are the power on/off buttons, the volume rocker, and the smart key, which we'll take a look at later. On the back you can see the main camera, which is 8MP, which is actually pretty good when used in good lighting conditions. Under that you will find the fingerprint sensor and the Blackview logo at the bottom. On the top you will find the headphone jack covered with some rubber, and the charging port also covered with rubber. Now since my fingernails are a disaster, I cannot really get into the groove left to unplug the rubber casing, therefore I use a toothpick, which works fine for this job. This is also why the cables included are longer than usual. Once the ports are closed, it is waterproof again, obviously, as it's got an IP68 rating. The bottom rubber casing on my phone is actually pretty difficult to close, and I have to use a toothpick or else it won't close properly. I am not sure if that's present in all BV7000s, but it is present on my unit. The fingerprint sensor works 9 times out of 10, and it's actually pretty quick as well. The buttons are also very nice and tactile, which is great to have included. As you can tell from me swiping the home screen, it is pretty snappy. The only downside to the OS of the phone is the skin. I'm not a fan of the green and black theme they are going with, and that's why I would recommend downloading a custom launcher like Nova Launcher. Going into the settings, you can see all of the usual features of stock Android and a bit more. It is nice to see that it's running Android 7.0, although 7.1 would have been preferred. The phone itself is packed with a supposed 16GB of storage, although only 10.8 are shown in the settings, and same goes for the RAM, although that is pretty common in all mobile phones as it only shows 1.9 instead of 2. Going through the additional features, you can see that you have float gesture, one-handed mode, which actually wasn't working for some reason, but I can assure you that it did work before I made this review. You also have Parallel Space, which is an application that you can also download from the Play Store itself. It basically clones the same app to have different accounts, and all of the languages are the same as stock Android, so no problems there. And the smart key here is very useful for a few reasons. You can assign different functions to different presses, as shown in the video. Now going into the SIM slot, you can see that it has two SIM slots, or a SIM slot and an SD card slot. This is pretty common in Chinese phones, and it's great to see it included in this phone as well. Now we will move on to a game test, and I installed a fairly light game called Vertigo Racing, and it works flawlessly, almost no hiccups, and it is also pretty smooth. Now moving on to a speaker test, you can tell that it is decent and better than some other phones out there. A problem I found though with this phone, which is quite annoying, is that when viewing 1080p 60 frames per second videos, it lags a lot and basically makes it unplayable. Going back to trying to arrange the problem is to no avail, as it still keeps on lagging. This is also pretty common on some MTK chips, as I have other phones that have the same problem.
This is CoolFox over here, and today
This is another problem I faced while recording the video. For some reason Antutu benchmark crashed and the phone wasn't responsive for a few seconds. This is nothing to worry about though, as this was the first time this actually happened to me. Going through the specs of the phone, you can see that it has the MTK 6737T, the Mali T720, a 1080p screen, and it also supports NFC, which is great to see on a budget phone. Now going through the test here, this is obviously fast forwarded, and it's actually fast forwarded by 2000%, as the test itself does take around 10 minutes. The phone scored 36,000, which is pretty good considering the specs present. After the test, I took the temperature of the phone and it got to around 38 degrees, which doesn't really feel that hot in the hands. The GPS test is great. It scored an accuracy of around 2 to 3 feet, which is amazing for a phone of this price. Now this is a test of all the sensors present on the phone itself, and you can also see the multi-touch test. It amazingly scored 10 touches at once, which isn't seen often in most phones. Now this is a camera test of the phone itself, and as I said earlier, it has an 8 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front camera. And as you can see from the video tests and the photo samples here, they are not that bad, but obviously they can be a lot better, but considering the price, they are pretty good for what you are paying. The front camera though doesn't give you an option to choose the focus point, which is a bit strange, but nonetheless it still works great and does also detect your face. The back camera though is pretty good in both departments, both for the photos and the videos, and as you can see, the video is pretty good compared to the front facing camera. And this is the waterproof test. It of course passes this test, and the speaker did get some water on it, making it sound muffled, but that is to be expected. It was not damaged though, as when wiping with a towel it returned to normal. So that was it guys for this video today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. This was CoolFox and I'm out. Peace.